Hey again, everybody. Today, I want to talk on the power of the mind, um, kind of the difference between like the title of the video is Mind Over Matter, and kind of where those things intersect and where they are very different. And this is kind of similar to my mind and body video, but more so on things that are outside of yourself, and kind of external factors. Because with the mind and body video, we're talking about how the body can affect the mind and the mind can affect the body. And this is more so of those external factors that can that we can allow to affect the mind or not. And kind of the importance of having your mind over matter, or putting your mind above things that are external to it. And so I had thought about this. I went and I picked up some food earlier, and it's pretty cold outside now. We're getting to freezing point every night, and it's getting pretty cold. And I've been doing runs and stuff, and it's getting almost to the point where it's too cold to do it outside. But I was thinking on this because I did a run yesterday with a friend of mine, and in total, I would say the run was about a mile and a half, somewhere around there. And we kept a pretty good pace for the whole time. And what was interesting was that, and I don't know if he felt this too, but there's a lot of points where, I felt like slowing down or, walking or taking a quick break before we got to a certain point. Because, we were both getting pretty winded, especially because we were trying to, talk while we were doing it. And so, but I noticed like having somebody else there, who was keeping up with what my pace was, and I was trying to keep up with his. It pushed me past those moments of, wanting to slow down or stop or walk. It like allowed me to push past that and to keep going. And so this idea with mind over matter was that it was both the physical pain of the run, and it was very cold outside. So there are all these external factors to my mind that were getting to it in those moments of weakness or tiredness, where I wanted to slow down or I wanted to take a break. But having somebody else there who was also in the same scenario, going through the same thing I was at the same time, pushed me to continue. And so, kind of broadening this to other aspects of life, and kind of going back to that everybody's kind of going through similar things, and we're all kind of on this run, or in this race. And I don't think it's good to think of life as a race, because I think you're going to end up rushing through things that you shouldn't rush through, or perhaps resting in the wrong places. And so more so in the fact that we all are doing very similar things, and we're feeling very, very similar pains. But the knowledge of that can be what kind of pushes us to continue, even when we have those moments that we want to slow down or we want to take a break. And so it's finals time, and so for all my fellow college students out there, I wish you luck. And I know the stress, and everybody that I've spoken to, nobody's really nobody's really in a very chipper mood, these weeks in between breaks. But I would encourage you to kind of take this mind over matter thing to heart, especially right now, where finals and stresses of work and careers and social pressures, really, I think, mounts on a lot stronger towards the holiday seasons. And so kind of keeping this mind over matter idea in the back of your head, that what you think is who you are, and what you think of a situation is what the situation is going to manifest itself into being. If you think that you will succeed, you have a much higher chance of succeeding. Of course, if you take the necessary preparations for it. But kind of keeping your mind above those things, those external things, because it's very easy to let those infiltrate the garden that is inside of all of our minds. And so, trying to keep that under control as best as possible. And then I also wanted to share my favorite. So the name of the channel is Entrance Stone, and I don't know how many of you watching know kind of what that's a reference to, but it's a reference to the book Kafka on the Shore by Haruki Murakami, who has quickly become one of my favorite authors within the past year. And Kafka on the Shore is my favorite book. And so there's a quote, or the very last 3 sentences of that book, I think kind of share in this idea, at least partially. So it says, "You finally fall asleep, and when you wake up, it's true. You are part of a brand new world." And so this, to me, says that kind of no matter what you're dealing with, no matter what the external factors are, that when you sleep, when you wake up, and it doesn't even have to be actually sleeping, but you could think of it as kind of having your mind over the matter, that when you come back from that, you're part of a brand new world. You can have that reset or have that next chapter happen at any point. And all it takes is you kind of making some kind of change or having the correct mentality to kind of switch tracks to. And so to bring all this to a recent experience of mine, or recent experiences, I've grown a lot even in the past like 3 weeks, after breaking up and having school stresses and all these other things, and kind of being able to pick myself back up and work out more. And I've met a ton of new people, and I have things that I'm looking forward to, and I have something that's getting me out of bed, that I've been able to see this kind of evolution of my mind. And what is interesting, though, is that it is very much built on waves. And to kind of call back to my favorite analogy, it's inhales and exhales. And so it's interesting to kind of see my mind being above these things, and that when I allow them to get into my mental garden, then it's a sharp inhale, and I'll have a good few hours or evening or day that I'm stuck in this, like I have this thing in my garden that I can't get rid of, and it just sticks and it stays and it hurts and it's killing things, and things are, it's a little bit on fire, you could say. So I'll have those, and then the exhale happens, and I don't really know exactly what the trigger is. Sometimes it's when I go to sleep. Sometimes it's when I just start to work on something else that gets my mind away from that thing. And other times it just kind of naturally fades. And so kind of noticing these mental patterns has allowed me to kind of, when I'm in those inhale moments or something's in the garden, I don't panic as much. And I know, like, it's a temporary thing, and I know what is going to kind of help me to get past it. And so, really, it is powerful, the idea of mind over matter. And with that, I would encourage you all to read. I've been reading a lot more as well, and reading really, especially from that quote that I just read, opens you up to a lot of other ideas that might be able to broaden how you think on a current event. And even if it might be fictional, fiction is always based on some aspect of reality. So to kind of harness that and then reapply it to your reality, I think is extremely powerful. So that's what I've been thinking about today. Let me know what you all think. And thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. And I'll see you in the next one.